Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 6 of our organizational behavior class. I hope that you're enjoying the class and that a lot of it is starting to make sense to you and you're understanding some of the things that we've been talking about. I know that looking at the discussion posts and the assignments and quizzes, it looks like you're catching on there pretty good. Also hope that you're getting more comfortable with the online format and understanding my expectations of you in order for you to get the highest grade possible. So, like I say, I hope now as we're getting into week 6, you're much more comfortable and understand what's being expected of you. I do want to remind you that week 8, your research paper is due, and that you do use the annotated bibliography to help you write that paper. So that's the whole purpose of an annotated bibliography, is to kind of get you started on your research paper so you don't have to do everything from scratch all at once. I do want to recommend too that you go back and look at the grade book. We'll start keeping everything cumulative so that you can see your score at any time. I update that every few days. And also, with the exception of the discussion post, anywhere you have zeros or F's or what have you, you can go back and work on those things. So if you've got missing work, now's the time to start looking at it, trying to get yourself caught up. We're in week 6, and there's only 10 weeks, so you want to get in front of this thing now. You're going to start running out of time and start stressing out, and I want you to be able to get the best grade possible. This week we're talking a little bit about leadership and leadership theory, and that is a huge topic in and of itself. There are entire classes on just leadership. In fact, there are college degrees that are based solely on leadership. Not long ago, I read that there are over 200 different theories right now out there about leadership. Some of the common terms that you would hear about leadership is great man theory, and that's when people look at historic figures like a George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Mother Teresa, or whoever, and say, great leaders are born, that they're not made, and that these people have certain abilities that the rest of us don't have, and that's how they end up being great leaders. So there's what they call the great man theory. Then there's called trait theory, and this is when they look at people look at leaders and say, what is it that about them that makes them a good leader? They're a good listener, they're a good speaker, they're charismatic, they carry themselves well, that kind of thing. What are the traits that that person demonstrates? This idea of leadership would say that if me or you replicated those traits, or in other words, if we go out and act just like the great leader does, then we could be a leader. So that's an interesting theory. Then there are others, such as transformational leadership, which is built around charismatic leadership and setting goals and getting people excited about following them or trying to achieve a goal. Then there's transactional leadership, which is based on transactions. For an example, a lot of times in school, the teacher is a transactional leader. You follow because you have to. You follow because you want an A or you want a B. So you do what the teacher says so that you can get the grade. A lot of employment relationships are transactional. You follow the leader not because of their great ability or their great person, but you want a paycheck. So it's a transactional kind of relationship. Then there's something called LMX theory, or leader-member exchange, which is interesting. There's situational leadership, and I know that I took leadership classes with the U.S. Air Force one time, and they taught situational leadership. If you believe in spiritual matters, there's the spiritual leader. There's also servant leadership. And then you'll hear something about authentic leadership. So that's just a few of the big ones. As I said, there's over 200 theories out there right now talking about leadership. There's a lot of discussion of whether leaders can be made or are they born, and that depends on which of these theories that you like. They also talk about a difference between a manager or a supervisor and a leader, and that there's quite a bit of difference whether someone's a leader or they're just a manager or supervisor. So all of those kind of things are the things that we'll be talking about this week in our discussions and in our assignments. So I hope to talk to you online. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll see you in class.